Hey guys, I gotta get ready for work soon, but I got time to do a video.
When America's founding fathers were debating how to set up a brand new government, they ran into a problem.
What's the problem? Let me guess. Slavery?
What should happen if a president, in Benjamin Franklin's words, has rendered himself obnoxious?
Please don't be a Trump joke. By the way, the whole slavery guess, I promise, it was just a guess. Please don't Wall Street Journal me.
Most countries didn't have elected leaders or ways to get rid of them, so Franklin and the framers turned to a provision of British common law known as impeachment.
Alright, so I had to switch locations because my landlord is painting. But, impeachment?
Impeachment? Isn't that what a lot of people want to do to Trump? Man, that really didn't work.
Trial, conviction, punishment.
In Great Britain, impeachment could be brought against anybody, any citizen. And it also could result in any punishment, including death.
Hey, I wonder who this guy is.
Michael Gerhardt is a constitutional law professor who literally wrote the book on impeachment.
Awesome, it's done. My book on impeachment.
And so they put impeachment into the Constitution and then set up a whole series of unique American features in it.
Do you guys remember whenever Obama was signing all those executive orders? Well, I Googled it, and it turns out the executive orders that Obama wrote were to help people. It was for stuff like healthcare and stuff like that. Trump signed 3 on day 1. And one was a ban of all Middle Eastern people. I don't know if you guys can tell, I really keep up with my politics. Alright, well at least they both respect the Constitution, right? Right?
The Constitution lays out 3 offenses for which any federal official, including the president, can be impeached. The first 2, treason and bribery, are pretty straightforward.
What do I look like, some kind of thesaurus?
Treason, bribery.
That may as well be gibberish. Come on, Vox.
Treason means helping enemies of the United States, and bribery is taking money or gifts in exchange for a political favor.
Wow, that was easier than whenever they tried to teach me that in school. What if they just started putting YouTube educational videos in school? Maybe then I wouldn't have ended up hooking up with my math teacher.
And the last phrase, high crimes and misdemeanors, is hard to define. Obviously, it's not defined in the Constitution, but these were thought to be serious offenses against the Republic and serious breaches of trust.
Look, I don't think I'm a stupid person, but for some fucking reason, every time I hear the word Republic, all I can think about is this. Please tell me I'm not the only one.
For 3 U.S. presidents, Andrew Johnson, Richard Nixon, and Bill Clinton, the question of whether to impeach and remove them from office centered around whether their behavior fit into this 3rd category of high crimes and misdemeanors.
I'm only really familiar with 2 of those presidents. I know that Nixon was wanting to be impeached, but instead he resigned. I know that Bill Clinton wanted to be impeached for getting a little underneath the desk, which I mean...
Props, bro.
The impeachment process has to start in the House of Representatives. Any member can introduce an impeachment resolution.
A resolution, articles of impeachment of George Bush, President of the United States. That President George W. Bush be impeached for high crimes and misdemeanors.
Stay woke, fam. This must be about George Bush being behind 9/11. I fucking knew it!
But plenty, like this one, go nowhere. That's because impeachment charges have to be approved by a majority of the House Judiciary Committee.
Prepare your anuses. You're about to get educated.
Next, the full House of Representatives votes on whether to impeach. If a simple majority votes yes, the president is officially impeached.
Is this gonna be on the final?
But that doesn't necessarily mean they lose the presidency. That decision happens in a Senate trial.
Oh my god! No wonder so many foreigners hate our American judicial system.
The senators are basically the jury. They hear evidence from both sides, and if 67 of those senators vote to convict, the president is removed from office. This has never actually happened.
Not that I want Trump to get impeached or anything, because then we'd be stuck with Mike Pence, which is 10 times worse. It'd be pretty dope to live to see some type of president get impeached.
A House majority voted to impeach Andrew Johnson for firing his Secretary of War. This was after months of conflict after Reconstruction following the Civil War.
What's with that bad news, Eric? Bad news.
It's bad news.
The only other president impeached by the House was Bill Clinton in 1998. But in both of those cases, not enough senators voted to actually remove the president from office.
You want to know why? It's because more than like 85% of Congress is made up of men. And the guys looked at Bill Clinton's offense and were like, fuck, I wish I would have gotten a BJ in the Oval Office.
Johnson was only one vote short, but in Clinton's case, it wasn't even close.
My point exactly.
The respondent, William Jefferson Clinton, President of the United States, is not guilty as charged in the second article of impeachment.
Even that male judge is like, I got you, boy, I got you.
That's because votes in Clinton's impeachment in the House and trial in the Senate were split almost completely by party.
Oh, or it could just be that. That's actually better.
And part of the disagreement within the Senate had to do with the context in which Clinton's actions had taken place.
The context? Isn't that the type of language that somebody who is trying to defend a rapist says? Like, I know it was consensual, but still, that sounds like the language that someone is using trying to defend a rapist.
The whole thing started when Clinton was sued for sexual harassment by a woman named Paula Jones, who had worked for him when he was governor of Arkansas.
All right, so that's some new information. I had never known that before.
In a deposition for that case, Jones's lawyers asked Clinton if he'd had a sexual relationship with a different woman.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman. I'm so original and funny. Yeah, that was classic comedy.
A White House intern named Monica Lewinsky. Clinton said he hadn't.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Miss Lewinsky.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks for stealing my joke. That's all I have. That's all I have. This video is not funny. Thanks to you, Bill.
But that wasn't true.
I had contact with her that was
Inappropriate.
Don't worry, Bill. All the contact I have with all the intimacy I have. Don't worry, Bill. All the intimacy I get is
Inappropriate.
oh, fuck.
Republicans in the House argued that Clinton should be impeached for lying under oath.
You, sir, may resign your post.
Yeah, Mr. President. My wife hasn't given me a BJ since we were dating back in 1988. So, since you got one, you get out of here.
Democrats disagreed that the offense was serious enough to be called a high crime. At one point, they walked out of the House chamber in protest.
My president can get a blowjob if he wants and it's consensual. My president can get a blowjob if he wants and it's consensual.
There is one small segment on the far right who have lost all objectivity and are determined to impeach the president at all costs.
I think the funniest part about this whole debacle, this happened back in 1988. And since then, a number of GOP senators, like Republican senators and congresspeople and representatives, have been accused of forcing their mistresses to get an abortion, admitting to an affair, or any of that stuff. And back in 98, they really had the gall to try to impeach President Clinton over a BJ?
Come on!
House Resolution 611 resolved that William Jefferson Clinton, President of the United States, is impeached
for receiving a BJ in the Oval Office and not inviting his homies.
For high crimes and misdemeanors.
But totally the BJ thing in the Oval Office first.
But throughout this process, Clinton's popularity never really suffered.
It's because if you're a good president and you get a surplus like Clinton did and the economy is booming and people have jobs and people are happy, I doubt anybody's going to give a flying flip if he gets a BJ in the Oval Office.
In a sense, the American people are demanding that he be tossed out of office.
Not a single Democratic senator voted to remove Clinton from office.
Why is it the Democrats are always the logical ones? I've met a couple of smart Republicans, but the majority of them are great people that I'd like to be friends with. I respect you if you're a Republican. I respect you. Please debate with me. I love having a political debate, but I'm just saying, why is it's not even a single Democrat didn't try to vote him out of office?
Typically, you'd need to have members of more than one party.
I feel like in this political climate, going against your own party is like going against your own gang almost. Is that an accurate analogy? Probably not. I'm tired.
That's one of the major differences between Clinton's case and President Richard Nixon's. Over the course of several months in 1973, members of Congress and the American people learned about Nixon's possible involvement in a break-in at the offices of the Democratic National Committee.
I just think it's kind of wild that President Nixon was forced to resign for that, but the DNC got hacked and Hillary got the nomination. If the DNC hadn't gotten hacked, I guarantee you that Bernie Sanders would have won. Bernie Sanders would have demolished Trump.
The Democratic National Committee is located in the Watergate office building.
The 5 men carried cameras and apparently had planted electronic bugs.
The espionage operation on the president's behalf was called the Offensive Security Program.
It's just wild to me that if this would have happened today instead of the 70s, the president is not going to resign over something like that.
The charge that the president knowingly participated in the Watergate cover-up.
That evidence only came out because Republicans, members of Nixon's own party, called for investigations into the president's behavior.
Snitches get stitches! No, but seriously, I did a little research. Turns out the whistleblower on the Republican Party, ended up dead from mysterious circumstances. You can Google it.
You can Google it. It's worth a Google.
I welcome this kind of examination because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook.
There's something oddly familiar with that phrasing. Fake news!
In the House Judiciary Committee, Republicans joined with Democrats to approve articles of impeachment against Nixon.
The public began to kind of render a judgment against Nixon, which was his popularity plummeted.
I just think it's so wild that if Trump did that today, his popularity would probably skyrocket even further.
But Nixon resigned before the full House could vote on impeachment.
Again, God forbid Trump get impeached. But if he did get impeached, I guarantee he would not take it laying down. He would not resign.
I must put the interests of America first. I shall resign the presidency effective at noon tomorrow.
Republican leaders had told him there's no way he'd survive the vote, which helps explain why no president has ever been removed from office by impeachment. For that to happen, the president doesn't just have to commit some high crime or misdemeanor. He has to lose the support of his own party.
Alright, I guess that just goes to show, no matter what Trump does, he will never lose the support of his base. Dude could kill 6 million Jewish people like Hitler did and they'd still back him.
In which case, history suggests he'll see himself out.
Again, I hope Trump does not get impeached just for that reason. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching another episode of mine. Sorry this took so long to put out. I just put a lot of work into it and I'm pretty proud of it. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe and like. And if it's not too much trouble, retweet it. I'm trying to grow. Whatever. Anyways, we'll see you guys tomorrow, alright?
We always say congratulations. Work so hard, forgot how to vacation.
This is Post Malone. Congratulations. You're welcome. And this is my favorite part.
If you fuck with winning, put your lighters to the sky. Yeah. If you fuck with winning, put your lighters to the sky. How could I make sense when I got millions on